Hi everyone, my name is Orit Hazzan and I'm from the Technion, the Israel Institute of Technology, and I will talk about the exponential competence of computer science and software engineering undergraduate students. We all know that our world is exponential. We are familiar with organizations such as Facebook, Amazon, which are called exponential organizations, and we all feel the influence of the pandemic, which is also exponential. And I will argue that there is a need to adopt new habits of mind and behaviors to cope with such phenomena. And exponential competence encompasses these cognitive and social skills. And I will describe you a course on soft skills, which includes also the term exponential competence, and I will show you how students understand these competence. First of all, what is a competence? A competence is the ability to perform something proficiently, taking a comprehensive perspective and demonstrating deep understanding of its context. Exponential competence means dealing well with exponential phenomena, such as the current pandemic, the growth of exponential organizations, the speed of innovation adoption, the growth of job opportunities for data scientists, and many, many more. In general, competence encompasses 4 components: knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors, many of which are considered to be soft. And we all know that soft skills are related to interaction and working with people and management, and that soft skills include cognitive skills as well as social skills. In the context of computer science and software engineering, the knowledge component of exponential competence relates to computer science and software engineering topics such as algorithms, computability, complexity, software development processes, testing, Internet of Things, cloud computing, and data science. But I will not talk about the knowledge component of the exponential competence in this talk. Rather, in this talk, I will focus on the skills, attitudes, and behaviors components of exponential competence and how they are addressed in a course on soft skills. I will describe 2 courses that I taught. One is a Technion, which was taught face-to-face in the spring 2018 semester. And the course included a hackathon designed to foster the students' exponential competence. The second one was taught at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, School of Engineering and Computer Science, as part of my sabbatical. It was online. It was taught in the first Corona semester, and exponential competence was receiving special attention in this course due to these very unique times in which the students, together with the entire world, are witnessing the exponential spread of the pandemic. Here are several characteristics of these 2 courses. You can see that, for example, that in the Technion, 46 students learned it, in Jerusalem, 35, and there are several more characteristics that you can read in the paper. In both courses, the students were asked to answer several questions, either on their group work or their personal experience, and I will not go into the details, but I encourage you to read all these questions in the paper because they will let you know how the students deal with the topic. I do want to list questions presented to the students in both courses. For example, they were asked to list 5 advantages of working in an exponential organization, to list 5 disadvantages of working in an exponential organization, to list 3 cognitive challenges that employees in exponential organizations likely face, and to list 3 social challenges that employees in exponential organizations likely face. And I will, one more question, on a scale of 1, not at all, to 4, very much, To what degree would you like to work in an exponential organization? Now I had many answers in different formats, and I looked at all these data, and I found out that to sort all this data according to skills, attitudes, and behaviors on 3 levels, individual, team, and organization, will highlight the fact that the exponential competence was learned, perceived, got attention in this course. So let's see, for example, the individual level. We can see skills, attitudes, and behaviors. So, for example, among the skills that belong to the exponential competence on the individual level, students mentioned charisma, decision-making, persistence, etc. Attitudes, for example, they mentioned openness to criticism, and behavior, they say, for example, taking risks, transparency, and code sharing. On the team level, they mentioned the following skills: teamwork, ability to coordinate teams; behaviors, ability to create trust among users, and more. On the organization level, they mentioned the skills, for example, business vision, global scale synchronization, and creating community. Attitudes, commitment and involvement in work ethics, and behaviors on the organization level were strategic management and ability to understand customer needs. I'm going to conclude because my presentation is very short, and let's see what we can see. Although the students were asked to list soft skills in response to the above questions, the richness of their answers enabled to sort them into the components of competence: skills, attitudes, and behavior. And the list does not include the knowledge component of competence, since students in these courses tend to distinguish between content they acquired in other courses and content they studied in the said courses: skills, attitudes, and behavior. And finally, several comments about the place in which the study took place in Israel, which is, we know it's a startup nation. So first of all, many multinational companies have established local sites in Israel, and many of them, like Google, Facebook, and Amazon, are exponential. Several exponential companies currently operating in Israel were founded by Israeli entrepreneurs. For example, Waze, which was sold to Google, and Mobileye, which was sold to Intel. And Zoom, we cannot neglect Zoom, which is an exponential organization, clearly. Its spread was exponential during this period of time. And one comment is that Oded Gal, who is Zoom's chief product officer, is a Technion graduate. We're very honored. And we can see how it grows exponentially during this period of time. And finally, graduates of Israel's leading universities are largely involved in the startup nation scene of Israel and its exponential facets in particular. This is true also for the students who studied the courses described in this talk, and when they were asked to rate on a scale of 1, not at all, to 4, very much, the degree to which they would like to work in an exponential organization, 80 to 90% of both course classes expressed interest. And finally, one more comment. It is important to enable students to acquire exponential competence, which, as we saw, encompasses many skills, attitudes, and behaviors needed in order to cope with exponential phenomena. I would like to thank you very much for your listening, and I will be happy to take questions.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. Unfortunately, the author, Orit, does not appear to be here to answer questions, but maybe what we can do is we can open the chat area to comments, and we can try to have an online discussion about your impressions concerning the paper, if you're up for it. So any comments? We have some, it looks like 16 people in the room. No? I don't know what to do, but maybe I can mention one of the things that struck me about the paper is that the competencies mentioned and investigated. Oh, that is my question, Anna. Anna has a question, and I had exactly the same thought because all the competencies mentioned kind of looked like universally applicable to me, and my question was that why would be particular to exponential organizations? So perhaps you had the same impression as Anna and me. Any comments on that? Do you guys agree? Okay. And another thought that I had was, this property of being exponential. How do you satisfy that it is an intangible quality, or is it something measurable, like, if the company is growing exponentially according to some tangible measure, its share value is growing exponential, then is automatically exponential. And then if it is exponential, when does the company stop being exponential, or does that ever happen? For example, I don't know, did Microsoft stop being exponential, or is it still considered to be exponential? I'm pretty sure it was at one point. So that was kind of another thought that occurred to me. Any other comments? No, we're basically shooting in the dark here, unfortunately, but also maybe a third thought was that, if you're trying to teach these kinds of competencies, the best way would be to perhaps like throw the students in a context where they actually face the situation or the environment that creates that exponential property. Oh, Orit is here. Orit, you should. I'm always trying to pretend like you, but you should have joined the. No, we cannot hear you because you should join the backstage. Otherwise, you won't be able to share your video, or you won't be able to turn on your mic. So we have about 6 minutes. You can still join your backstage if you click on the My Backstages button. Then you should actually see this session. You should automatically be assigned to it, and then if you click on it, you will come where I am right now, and we will kind of be facing the audience together. Do you want to do that? I don't see you in the backstage currently. Click on My Backstages if you're using the new user interface. It's on the right-hand side. There is kind of a little man walking through a door icon, the second from the top. And if you click on it, then it says My Backstages, and you should be right under that. in the old user interface, and it's on the left. In the new user interface, if you have chosen that when you logged in, it's on the right, actually. The My Backstages area. So it's in different places depending on which user interface you're using. Or if you are having trouble or at joining the My Backstages, the backstage area for this session, you could answer the questions on the chat window. Feel free to do that. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. Perhaps some technical difficulties. Oh, there she is. You're here. Yes, please, yeah, unmute yourself. It looks like you are muted, Orit, so we cannot see you. I mean, we can see you, we cannot hear you, sorry. You still, it looks like you're muted. Oh, okay.
Okay, now?
Yes, we've got you. Okay. Do you want to, we have 2 minutes to 3 minutes left, but there was a question by Anna previously. Do you think the exponential competencies will be very different from competencies in other types of software organizations? That was the question.
Yes. Okay. I'm so sorry for this confusion. Okay. Yes, in some sense, yes, because you should take a different perspective when you work in an exponential organization, for example, compared to startups. Startup is something, it's still talking.
So we can hear you.
Okay.
So do you think like startups they're not exponential? Startups are not exponential organizations. They are in a different stage.
Yes, because yes, and one day they will be, but currently they should deal with a different set of problems. They should deal with how to recruit people, what kind of people, and not about. They should not. They should have a vision, but currently the competence is different. Yes.
All right. And Anna was also asking about the differences between skills and attitudes. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes.
So what is the difference between skills and attitudes?
Sure. Skills are things that you do, and attitudes, it's things that skills, it's something that you do, and an attitude is what you think. How do you view the world?
Okay, like your worldview, and LK suggesting also your personality traits, how you approach problem solving, and all of that. Okay. Right.
Yes.
So we have 25 seconds before the session is automatically terminate. But thank you for joining, even though it was a little bit late.
Thank you. Great seeing you.
Let's give it up for virtually for Orit. And if you want to continue the discussion, then it's going to ask you whether you want to join the discussion group. So you go there and